roll call 219, and I'm holding my camera, so if it gets a little wobbly on you, sorry. And you're going to have to deal with some of the planes and the wind that's starting. This isn't so much a gun-related video, but today's the I believe the 7th, or no, the 8th of November, and I thought I was gonna have some. It's gonna be a hunting video, guys. I thought I was gonna have a good day today. The wind kind of was in my favor. You know, it wasn't too bad, even though it was like a southeast wind today. But it was only about 5 miles an hour, and I probably could get away with it. And I was really stoked today, especially because it was my half day of work on Sunday, and I could hurry up, get home, take a shower, get ready, and go out, right? So I do all that jazz, and I'm really stoked because I haven't checked my trail cams in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So in 3 days, and I haven't seen a whole lot of action. Had a big buck. Maybe I'll put some pictures up here of some of the deer I've seen. And I was really getting stoked, man. And this all leads back to the beginning of the spring. Beginning of the spring, Cindy's parents have gave me permission to hunt in the back of their house. It's right off of, it's a small parcel of land. I'd say acre, if most, maybe not even an acre. And I was like, that's cool, because everybody's hunting at the farm. Everybody's got their stands up. There's no room for me, which really sucks, but I understand it. You know, there's a lot of talk about some deer being in the area. I was even catching some bucks that were coming through my front yard right before hunting season. So everybody's pretty much stoked, right? So today, to go back, so I started to get that area prepped and ready, making it feasible. A lot of deer travel through that area I'm hunting. And it's just easy to access. It's not too far from my house. It's ideal spot if there's more land, but it is what it is. So the beginning of the spring, I was prepping those grounds, making mock scrapes, just getting ready for the bow season this year, because I've never done bow season. And I was so stoked. And I'm like, cool, bought a tree stand. Everybody helped put it up. It was a pain in the butt. It's a ladder stand. It's not like a hanger or a side saddle or anything like that. It's just a simple two-person stand, because my son's is really liking, sitting outdoors and learning the ways of hunting. Even though I haven't been hunting forever, I've been hunting before. So teaching my son how to do this is really exciting for me. My daughter, she doesn't really get into it too much. She loves the animals, all right? So that's fine. So I prepped that spot all year, and I've been hunting it off and on, trying to learn the tricks of the stand, watching the wind, watching the weather, cold fronts, things like that, just trying to get ready and trying to determine when it's a great time to sit in the stand. I was geared more towards this might be a morning stand. So as we were prepping the area, putting the stand up, we noticed there's another tree stand back there. And I contacted Cindy's brother, and I was like, hey, look, because that used to be one of his old hunting spots, but now he's got like 40 acres, so who needs that, right? So I contacted him, and I'm like, hey, man, did you leave one of your old deer stands up? There's one right across the way from your parents' property, but it's on. There's a cemetery in her parents' subdivision. I'm like, it's on their property, And he's like, no, I didn't. I don't hunt over there. I was hunting on my parents' property. He's like, I don't know whose stand that is. So I was like, okay. And then we found the guy's trail camera. And I went up to the trail camera and waved like, you know, we know you're here. So through the course of the spring into the summer, just going back there and prepping and getting it ready for this fall's hunt, he never removed his stand or his camera. So one day, right before fall, I left a note on his stand. I said, hey, look, you know, that this property doesn't belong to you. I've looked it up. Please remove your stand. You know, because Cindy's parents have a lot right next to their house that is split between them and the neighbor that they own. So they own a lot of land back over in there, and that leads to the cemetery, and that cemetery is private property. Whether he had permission or not, from what I gathered from the neighbors and Cindy's parents, no one is allowed back there on that portion of ground. But he's back there with his tree stand, and I will admit, it's a good spot. He's got a real good tree, almost the most straightest tree in the woods back there. So I left him a note, hung it on a stand, like, look, dude, just move it. All right, it's not a big deal. We know you're back there. Nobody's supposed to be back there. Have a great day, you know. Well, hunting season arrives. I've been hunting my tree stand for quite some time, and he never moved it. So I figured, you know, well, you know, maybe he hasn't, you know, come out this year. So I keep on going out in my tree stand off and on, all the way to a point where I notice, you know, when I walk back there, that his camera's gone. So I'm like, oh, now he knows I'm really back there because he came back there and got his camera. But he's never messed with my stuff. And I'm like, well, maybe he'll come back and get his stand, and I'll just leave his stand there, right? I'll leave his stand there, then he can come get his stand. And I'm not going to be a dick about stuff, you know. You know, some people, you know, they find a honey hole, they don't want to get off it. I get it, man. But that's not your property. And, you know, people don't want you back there that, you know the business. So, a couple days later, you know, I go back there and I look, because I can see, when I climb up in my tree stand, I can see his tree stand. And I'm like, well, maybe he's just like, oh, you know, they found out that I'm back here. I'm not going to risk going back there and get my tree stand. So I just left it up. I'm like, you know, I'm not going to go sit over there because I'm not allowed to hunt over there because it's not the property that I agreed to hunt with Cindy's parents. So I'm like, whatever. So I get ready today, and I'm like, all right, you know, good day, get all my stuff ready, take a shower, descent, all that stuff, you know, go over there, descent, you know, go walking in the back of the woods, because I haven't checked my trail cameras in a couple days, and I know there's some good deer that are coming through there right now. So I get back to my spot, and, you know, I set my stuff down by my tree stand, and I go to grab my hoist rope, and sometimes it gets wrapped around the tree from all this wind, and I'm looking for it. I'm like, where's the hoist rope? And I look up, and I see that it's cut. And I'm looking around the ground, and I find the piece on the ground, so I pick it up. I'm like, man, did it get wrapped around the tree and then, you know, get stuck and then, you know, get cut? Because it wasn't really a thick piece of rope. It was pretty thin. And I'm like, damn. So I grabbed the tree stand, and I look in the back of it, and I shake the tree stand. He took the strap off the top of the tree stand. And if you've never sat in a tree stand or never read about tree stand accidents, you could die from them or be seriously hurt. And he had climbed up my tree stand and took the back strap off where the seat is meets the tree, and then you put your strap around there, and you strap your seat to the stand. So he took that off of there. So if my son would have climbed up there, the tree stand would have tipped, and he would have got seriously hurt. Or if I did it, would have got seriously hurt. So I said, son of a bitch, you know. And I look up in the tree, and all my bow hangers are gone. Where I hang my quiver, where I hang my bow, where I hang my call. And he took my call too. So I'm like, son of a bitch. I look right over, right where I put the camera, right on an angle by my tree stand to see what walks in front of it. He took my camera with my SD card in it. I said, all right. Walked a little bit further ways down the trail. He took my other camera. I looked across the way where his tree stand was. He took his tree stand down. But unfortunately, he took everything from over there. Not only that, he almost killed somebody. And I think that is just the biggest piss poor example of being a human being. So at this point, I've locked my tree stand up. I've put a keep out sign with a, wouldn't call it a nasty note, but a real stern warning about coming back there. A real stern warning. Not something like, you know, your father yells at you for. Like a stern warning, like if you come back there, you're not going to like what you find at this point. So, in cadence to all this stuff, and the moral of the story is don't touch other people's stuff. All right? Don't touch other people's stuff. You know, I've given this person ample time to remove their stuff out of that area. I mean, if he goes 100 yards somewhere else, that's fine. He's off this property that he's not supposed to be on, and then he's on some other neighbor's property. But stealing my cameras, stealing everything that I had invested in there was close to $300, close to $300. And that's not, you know, incorporating, you know, what I would have saw on my trail cameras to anticipate for, to write down times, to understand even further as we get closer and closer to the big rut. So, I mean, etiquette is something that I learned not only from Cindy's brother, but from a lot of things that I've watched on YouTube. And this is just some scumbag, devious thing that, first of all, he's not supposed to be there. Second of all, he walked on private property and did all that. And third of all, that is something that you should never do to hunters. I mean, you get busted in a spot you're not supposed to be, take your stuff down, go somewhere else. I understand it. I get it. I let him keep his stuff there as long as he wanted to. As long as he wanted to. You know, until he figured it out. But this is something I will not tolerate. It will not tolerate theft. You know, this is not courteous. This is not what hunters are supposed to do. You got busted. You're a sore loser. There's no excuse for this. And I've posted in a lot of the forums on Facebook about it. I've put, unfortunately, the exact location. Well, not the exact location, but right where all this is taking place. And I've told them, you know, we can resolve this. Just all the stuff you took, put it right in front of my tree stand. No questions asked. But if you don't, and I catch you back there, it's going to be a big problem. A real big problem. This is sad. This is disgusting. And not only that, that's demoralizing. Because food is getting ever so more expensive. We have to fill the freezer this year. And this sets us back. All the work we've done in the spring, in the summer, and now here hunting in the fall. So, if you're ever thinking about doing this stuff, I hope this is a great example of don't do it. Especially if you're gonna do it and you might get caught. The repercussions of this is going to be tenfold for this person. Whether they like my reaction or not, it's not going to really matter, but I'm not going to be a very nice guy. I can tolerate a lot of things in life, but I cannot tolerate a thief at all. So I just want to throw that in there. I've shored up the tree stand for now. There is some more liability that could happen with that tree stand. We'll have to wait and see. But if losing 2 trail cameras is it, almost $200 worth of trail cameras, so be it. It's frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. But if this continues to happen, things are going to go in a different direction at this point. I don't mess with anybody else. I wish, all the hunters out there good luck. But if you're going to be a thief, especially at night, and walk onto somebody's private property and steal their stuff, you get no respect. And if I catch you, you're definitely not going to like it. So for all the young hunters out there, etiquette is what it is. Be respectful out there. If you're not supposed to be in a spot, don't be in that spot. If you get caught in a spot, don't be an asshole. Take it on the chin and move on. But if you continue to create these situations like this person or these people have caused, this will not end well at all. It will not. So be respectful out there when you're hunting every year. And if you're not supposed to be somewhere, don't be there. So that's what happened. I'm not very happy. We'll have to see what goes on. We'll update it. And if nothing happens, oh well, we'll continue to hunt. But if I continue to see skullduggery happening around my area, well, we'll just say that it's not going to be a good time for whoever's doing it. Thanks for watching. And like always, we'll catch you on the next one.